Whether you're new or an experienced player, there might be some difficulty in finding the right sensitivity for you. So today I'd like to dive into that topic and tell you how I think that you can find the perfect sensitivity for yourself. And we can get right into that right after a quick word from our sponsor.
Today's video is sponsored by SkinsMonkey. SkinsMonkey is a site where you can trade your skins that you don't want anymore to get some fresh, clean, new skins. All you do is you log in through Steam and then put in the items that you don't want anymore, grab the items that you do, and then click trades. Trades happen almost immediately, and any extra balance that you don't use in your current trade will roll over so you can use it in a future trade as well. Right now you can get a free $5 if you use code Austin on the site, and if you were to use my code you get an extra 5% on top of the 30% deposit bonus. So let's say that you deposit $100, you would get $135 on the site, and you can use that for a future trade. So go ahead and check out SkinsMonkey and let's get right back into the video.
Now that we've got that out of the way, I'd like to say that I actually don't think that there's such a thing as a bad sensitivity, but there is such a thing as an unusable sensitivity. Now that would be a sense that is way too fast or way too slow to be viable, and you can think of this range from anything above like 3 to 4,000 effective DPI to anything under like 400 effective DPI. That's just way too slow. You'll need 7 mouse pads to even do one 360. So that's what I would consider an unusable sensitivity. But even with that being said, many players have had success with all kinds of sensitivity throughout the years. For example, there's been many pros as well that have used high sensitivities and low sensitivities. You could think of Nico, one of the best mechanical aimers of all time with a rifle, and he plays with a really low sensitivity. But you could also think of the best player of all time, and he plays with almost triple that sense. And that's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't really matter. You have some of the best players in the world playing on high sense, some of the best playing on low sense. It really doesn't matter what sensitivity you choose, but I'll give you some tips to find the one that's best for you, the one that's most comfortable for you, and I'll give you some more tips that you can use along the way. Now, starting things off, the first way to find your sensitivity that I would recommend, of course, is don't copy a pro sensitivity. Pros play the game all day, every day. They have a really good understanding of how they like to play, how much they can move their arm. They just have a much better understanding of things in general. And so you shouldn't just steal somebody's sensitivity because, oh, Nico hits cool one tap, I go take his sense. That's not really how it works, and you need to find one that works for you. Now, the second tip that I have for you is to go into an offline map like Aimbots and figure out what's actually comfortable for you. But once you're here, you can start fresh. Find a sensitivity that's really stupid. So for example, I'm just gonna play on 1. That's not the sensitivity that I play on, but just for the sake of example, this is what you would do. So I want to flick from this guy's head to that guy's head. So I'm going to flick. Okay, I overflicked, which means I probably want to lower it. Let's try it again. Let's go to the other guy. Oh, and I flicked again, overflicked. So now I'm going to lower my sense, and I'm going to say, okay, more than likely I need to lower it. So let's go to 0.8 now. So I'm going to try again. Oh, another overflick. Let's try it one more time. Another one. And let's go to this guy over here now. That one was good. Let's try this guy on the left. Oh, I overflicked this guy again. Maybe we do need to lower it a little more. Let's try 0.6. And then you keep doing this and this until you find the sense that you feel like you can just instantly snap to their heads on. And when you find that, then you can say, this is the sense that I want to take into the deathmatch. So for example, I use 0.26 on 2000 DPI. So what you can do is when you find that sense, you're like, man, this is the one that I feel most comfortable naturally on. And then you can take this sense into the deathmatch and feel how it is to move around and play while aiming at real angles. Some people will think that this is a dumb method, but there is a reason that I tell you to do this. And that's because there's a lot of factors that play into finding a perfect sensitivity that might not have to do with just if you're comfortable or not. For example, some people are going to be playing on smaller mouse pads because that's all that they have. Or they might be playing on a smaller desk because they're playing in the closet of their mom's basement. Or they're playing with their PC tower to the right. I've seen all kinds of examples that would make it so you don't have a lot of room, so you're forced to play on a higher sensitivity. So that's why I recommend doing it this way to find what you can comfortably flick with on your mouse pad, so that way you're not going to be consistently running into those kind of factors. But if you have all the room in the world to work with, it's also nice because you can feel like, I know that this is a comfortable sense for me, and it's a very good way to practice. And once you find that sensitivity, you can take it into deathmatch and see how it feels to move around the map. Now, some people's senses might be too fast and you might think that you're over flicking the angles, and then you can go back and try in the aimbots and lower it and raise it again. Or some people might think that this is too slow, it's hurting my arm. And I know that it's funny because you might get a gamer injury, but it's actually a real thing and you need to be careful because you could hurt your arm, your shoulder, your forearm. I mean, I've had plenty of injuries myself just in my forearm from just playing too much and having a low sense. So it is important to keep that in mind as well. Maybe you need to raise it a little bit. And once you're comfortable and in the deathmatch and everything feels good, you're spraying, you're tapping, everything is nice, and then you take that sense and you apply this final tip that I'm going to give you, which is never change it. Some people fall onto this. I call it the noob trap. Noobs and people who are newer to the game might have one bad round or one bad game and then completely change their settings and remove all of the practice that they did with those settings. And this applies to every single setting that you could use. This could be resolution, this could be crosshair, this could be anything. Your keybinds, switching your mice, all of these things I call noob traps because it really stunts how fast you can improve at the game. So what I would recommend to you is when you find the sensitivity that seems the most comfortable at the time, don't change it. I've literally had the same sensitivity for 6 years playing this game, and I have never changed it. And the reason I never changed it is because I know that I don't need to. I was comfortable on it 99% of the time I've been playing these past 6 years. Why would I change it for the 1% of the time where I feel like I'm just maybe bad? And that's the biggest tip that I can give for you. That's how I've improved my aim over the past few years, and it's gotten me to a semi-professional level. Hopefully all of these tips you can apply and find the perfect sensitivity for you. And once you do find your sensitivity, go to the comments and tell me what it is. You can tell me your effective DPI, which by the way, for those of you guys that don't know what effective DPI is, it's your in-game sensitivity multiplied by the DPI of your mouse. So for example, if you use 400 DPI and a 1.3 cents in-game, your effective DPI is 520, and we do it that way. That way people can kind of tell the difference between DPI to DPI without having to do a bunch of math. It's just easier that way. When you find the perfect sense, go to the comments, tell me what your effective DPI is, and I'll tell you what I think about it, which is most likely going to be that it's a good sense. And yeah, so if you guys did enjoy the video, make sure you guys leave a like, share with your friend who's having trouble, or maybe a friend that's new to the game, and give them this tip. Hopefully that'll get them kickstarted on the path. And again, guys, please don't change your sensitivity. It really isn't worth it unless you absolutely 100% know that it's something that you're going to stick to. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys sub. I'm back, baby.